Shalom, greetings, and peace to everyone. I just wanted to get on here and, speak on some things. This is kind of like my third or fourth time trying to make this video because I don't want to drift off the topic. But in a nutshell, I feel like, a couple of things. First thing is, for those who may not come to the realization of the situation, 80% of the people you're around daily, which is the majority, have knowledge, are informed about who they say we are, right? That means in your travels to work, if you have employment, your travels out and about daily, right? The people you interact with on social media, your family, right? The main persons that you are around daily are going to be aware of the program. That 10% is if you go out to somewhere where you normally don't frequent. If you're going on, a trip, if you go in an area where you you're just not, if you go in an area that's new to you, or so on and so forth, then realistically, they're going to be people who already been put in place. But if it's not a planned event, then you may have some persons who will eventually be made aware, but at that time may just be in their natural state. We know the natural state of the world is demonic. So you may not be able to tell the difference, right? Until actually speaking with someone. The 20%, you have 10% that's going to be manipulated, meaning that they're going to be compromised as soon as you become around them. And then you just have 10% who are just so deaf, dumb, and blind that they're not even a concern to the 80%, because they're really no good, and they're going to be so much around you that you won't even get a chance to be around the dumb, deaf, and blind in order to even speak to them in a manner about letting them know informatively about what's going on, right? So I think once we become aware of that instance, people won't be trying to burn their wheels about spreading the information about what we're going through. And that's not to discourage, because we should definitely let anyone know, because, when you let someone know about the targeting, you can also share the grace and knowledge and love of the Most High Yah, right? Ultimately, that would be the goal. But in saying that, we're around primarily 80% of people who are aware, then we have to govern ourselves accordingly. We have to, so what I mean by nothing surprises me anymore, right? Sometimes I get thrown off at the attempts that they make, right, in efforts of setting traps and going out, out their way. But then when I realize, okay, this is a demonic program, these people are not sane, a lot of these people don't have anything to live for other than their ties to these occults and these societies. And saying that, in order for us to get any kind of financial freedom, in order for us to be less harassed, it's like a family. It's like a real family. When you're going somewhere, or if you share with your family that something is going on with you, you would think, right, what should happen, right, is that your family would take concern and they will come together in efforts of protecting you and making sure that you're in the best position possible. Well, we know a lot of times that we have been the scapegoats and black sheeps of our family, so that's not an option, primarily speaking for myself. So as a community, as an empowered family, no one's going to look out for each other like we will. No one's going to know the signs and symptoms of the issue like we would. No one's going to know how to combat and approach these persons like we would. And I ultimately believe that in these last days and hours, it will behoove us to try to come together in any way, shape, or form so that we can at least protect the women of this, right? The women with single children. The single mothers with children, the elderly, right? Because not all of us are young. And that's primarily my goal for this situation, because they're killing people out here by stress alone. Stress is one of the major killers, and that's known to man. And so you have people getting up in age, they try to make it so you can't provide for yourself. Some people are on the medications, right? We have some of the mothers who are out here, and some of the women that are out here by themselves, with children, without children. And we know that we have a lot of sick men out here, a lot of perverted men and women, because that's what this program consists of. Those are the characters of the persons we are around, sick, perverted people who take pride and joy in unlawfully harassing people daily. So I just wanted to bring that to the minds of some of the TIs, some of the empowered individuals, because it's really an issue. It's really an issue. And if we're staying in an area, right, if we're able to rent out a home, several homes, come together financially, we don't have to worry about persons making noise. We don't have to worry about people being on the property. We don't have to worry about, we could cut down some of the street theater and tactics that they have. I won't say in half, but at least a quarter of it, just by sticking together, just by coming together, because I'm not going to allow anyone to harass me. I'm not going to allow anyone to harass my family. And you guys are my family, so, regardless of what they try to do, we already know that if we're in our states individually and they try a psyop or a plan or a trap, well, we have no one to turn to. Literally, I know. The police are going to laugh at you because we know that we mock them, right? We don't really mock, but we tell it like it is. Your family's going to act delusional. You don't really have any friends in this thing, right? So we know that you can't really express or share what you're going through to anyone because they already know. So what they're going to do is take pride and pleasure in your downfall, in your ailments, and in your stress. So they'll listen to you. But it's kind of redundant because they're listening to some things that they already know or they help transpire. I look at certain brothers out here and what they have to do to make money, and they're true hustlers. True hustlers. True hustlers. You know what I mean? By any means. Definition of a hustler are we. But I just feel like, if we came together, and honestly try to put our minds together, it's the Most High says that it takes 1,000 demons to even nick the righteous. Not even take down, to nick the righteous. takes 1,000 demons. 1,000. And in closing, I'm sure you guys are aware that, look how many people that we're around daily. Look how many people that are around us annually. You know, it's not a stretch by saying that the whole state that you live in is against you. That's not a stretch. I used to think that was a stretch in saying that, but it's not. It's literally the whole state. 80% of whatever state you live in is against you. And we take it with an iron fist. We're still here. We're surviving. That should let you know a lot. Man, I mean, who can really take on thousands and thousands and thousands of people daily, day in and day out, stress, day in and day out, right? Agonizing, intimidating, false intimidation, antagonizing, setups, voice to skull, EMF. And you got to take, guys, for a second, let's really just, give all praise and be to the Most High, because we know that's how we live, move, and have our being. But, let's give ourselves a pat on the back too, man, because we already know that these people couldn't go through this, man. A lot of people are going to start killing themselves when they realize who they've been praying to is a false god, when they realize that they don't have the covering that they thought they had, when they realize that they're really going to be going to the place that they never thought existed, right? We're going to have a lot of people running around here sick and crazy, and they're not going to know what to do. And yet we take it right now, and we champions, man. We champions. So I just wanted to make a few points. I hope I wasn't rambling, man. Shout out to everybody. Stay strong. And, I do have that community policing book, for what it's worth. Just, having some information on the program, their tactics. Shalom, man. Keep it real.